It was crazy town some days. And some days I was like, I'm totally failing. And other days I was like, hey, we got this. So
Welcome to Career Mama Stories, where we talk to moms who not only have one career, they have two, raising their children and doing the work that they love. Enjoy.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
So my name is Jill Douglas, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia, or just outside of Atlanta. And I am a single mom with two kids, 12 and 7, and they're two boys. The world over here. We have a cat too, who's also a boy. I joke that I have 3 brothers and 1 sister, so I'm totally equipped for all the boy conversations, fart jokes, body jokes. I'm like, you guys can't face me. It's all good. And their dad is involved, but he, lives farther away and stuff like that. And I have a new significant other, a new beau, and he lives in Idaho. So it's a long distance situation, but he's a phenomenal partner on the parenting track too sometimes. So it's good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's hard. When did you start dating during the pandemic?
Just before December of 2019. Yeah. But the crazy thing is we've known each other for 21 years. So we have some history that has helped, most likely, that has helped. So
yeah, a little more trust maybe than
yeah, right. Then I'm starting this long distance relationship. Yeah, no.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I had 3 brothers also. So yes.
I know, right?
Yeah. And I was like, actually, it was funny because you know how when you're pregnant, you just, for whatever reason, think it's going to be a boy or a girl. And you kind of,
yes.
And we were at the ultrasound and they're like, it's a girl. And I, for some reason, thought I was going to have a boy. And I went, are you sure? Like, maybe check again. It was so funny. But yeah, thrilled that I got my daughter. But
that's awesome. Yeah, I would have loved to have a girl. And I didn't know until I popped him out. First one, I wasn't surprised he was a boy. Second one, I was kind of thinking, oh, maybe it'll be a girl. Nope. I was like, what is it? They didn't even say it right away. I was like, what is it? Turned it around. Oh, it's a boy. I'm like, okay.
Here we go. Yeah. We get what we get and we don't throw a fit. That's what we tell
That's right. That's right. So my women's retreats, this is when I first started this, the company is called Soul Traverse, and it is a journey for and of your soul. It's a journey of your soul. It's a journey for your soul. And it's really, nature has an amazing way of just pressing out what doesn't need to be there, right? And just giving you back to your core. And so the intention of it is to really connect women to their own inner strengths, their own inner spirits, and to each other in this amazing community. And so they're in usually beautiful outdoor settings, some a little more nature than others. And the one I have coming up in August 13th through the 15th is the Soul Fresh retreat. And it's all about just, we've been holding on to so much during this pandemic, stress and overwhelm and responsibility and pivoting and all sorts of stuff that it's we need to just release that, because it's, just like filling up a refrigerator with clean food when you come back from the store. If there's already a bunch of crap in there that's all moldy and gunky, you can't fit anything else in. And we're at a time where we're really re-examining what is going on for us in life and what do we want to do. And so this is a retreat designed to just clear out the old and then really step into our divine feminine and our divine power and intuition of this is what I'm called to do, and learning to trust that and hear the calling. So that's specifically this one. They all get created just very amazingly from what calls. But that's this one. So there will be more in the future for sure. Pandemic hit, I actually was mainly focused on my Arbonne business, which is a network marketing business. And I absolutely love that, because honestly, the reason I started it was because as a single mom, I wanted to be present with my kids and have an opportunity to make money. And I have a background in the environment, nature, outdoors, so any company that's going to support that and have a really clean product, I'm like, okay, I'm all about that. So I had been doing Arbonne, which is also something I could do from wherever, which is great. However, during the pandemic, what I found was like, it forced us in a lot of ways, just like stop and cut some things off our list. And that was really like jarring in some ways, but in a really, I don't know how it was for everybody. Of course, it was different for everybody, but for me, it was a really nice pause to be like, wait, I don't need to do all these things that I've had on my list. And what are the things I really want to do? And one of the things I talk to people about during my, with my Arbonne business is, what do you really want to do with your life? Like, if you're not really doing something that you want to do, there are ways to do that, to shift things up, right? And so one day I was like, well, what am I doing that I'm really also passionate about, right? And I was like, I'm not doing what I really want to do, which is leading women's retreats out in nature. So, I'd been putting it off because as a single mom, I was like, how am I going to do this? Like I have my kids most of the time, but finally I was like, you just have to start somewhere, Jill. You just got to do it, So it's actually during the pandemic where I got clear, like, this is something that's really important to me. I really want to be doing it. And I actually did my first retreat in person in October of 2020, which, I mean, it just worked with the people who needed it and showed up, and we did it safe, all that kind of stuff. So that's one thing that I began, and I do something else on the side too. I don't know if I wrote this to you, but I lead some virtual workshops for moms who are in partnerships with alcoholics who want to change their situation, whether it's getting out or just changing it, because I was there. And so I feel the call to like help people who are in that situation. And that's all virtual. That's part of the knowledge industry, which I'm like, I was born to be a coach. I was born to like lift people up, people out, and be like, you were made for more, let's do this. And so I've just kind of fallen into that too, again, during this whole time where things really shut down and had to, to use the word of 2020, pivot, but it's true. We've all had to do that. So so now I'm doing both of those along with Arbonne. And I've just found that like my passion really lies in just these retreats and being with women and really like, helping people know their beauty and their power and their strength. So that's where I'm at right now.
It's amazing. I can definitely relate. When you know what you're born for, right?
Yeah.
It's just getting there sometimes takes us a little longer.
Yeah. Well, that was another thing. Like I turned 41 this past year. And I was like, okay, I plan on living to 115 or so. So I'm like, okay, well, we're at like not midway, but we're like, third of the way. I don't do math that well. It's not my thing. I'm a coach. No, I'm just kidding. But I was like, okay, it's time to just reassess. Like I've tried some things, I've been doing some things a certain way. And I was like, I really just want to spend my time and my life energy in a way that, like you said, that brings me joy, that lights me up, that serves the world in the ways that also serve me. So yeah, exactly. When you know, just takes a little while to find it sometimes.
Yep. And everyone's so different. My husband's like, I could never do what you do. And I'm like, what? This is so fun. How could you not want to do this all day?
Exactly. I know what you mean. Totally.
Yeah, it's great. We need all of us.
We need all of us. It's true.
Mm-hmm. So during the pandemic, so you started new ventures.
Yeah.
And yeah, pivot. I mean, I always think of that Friends episode too. Pivot.
Pivot. I know.
And I'm so sick of the word.
I know.
I left my executive level job, and one of the things I couldn't do was say pivot after I left. I was like, don't say that word. But now I find myself saying it.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of a little over it too. And I get it. A lot of us have shifted, but still I'm just like, okay. It's like Sesame Street, brought to you by the letter P, brought to you by the word pivot. Ah!
Yeah, that would be funny. 2020 brought to you. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Okay, so tell me about your kids and their experience throughout and how that looked and your home life.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I mean, so my kids are like, and one was sixth grade last year and one was first grade. Okay. So kind of like pivotal moments in their schooling, middle school beginning and learning to read and all that kind of stuff. So, a couple things. They learned a lot about independence. They really had to learn how to like kind of manage some of their own stuff, which for my older son was okay. Although he kind of stopped caring about some of the classes because he didn't have all that feedback, and virtual learning was tricky. But my younger one, here's the interesting thing I noticed. And like I was available as I could be, but not always, right? And I'm probably more of a a little bit more laissez-faire kind of parent, like, all right, run about, you'll be fine. But at 12 and even at 7, it's kind of getting into those ages where you have to like, you gotta do some more molding, but I had to teach them like, this is when mom's working. This is what it looks like when I'm working. This is what you can interrupt. This is what you can't interrupt. Because there are things I'm on that like, it's actually not allowed to have a child in the background, just some leadership training courses I'm in. So they just had to learn that, and I saw my younger son who is Mr. Alive, the world is mine. He's always moving. Every sport he picks up, he's naturally like good at it. But I saw him manage himself over time differently. Whereas some days he'd have every single thing done from his recordings and the work he had to do by 9 o'clock when he got on with his little class. Other days it was 4:30, 5 o'clock, and he was still yelling at the computer, but he had to learn a lot about like, how do I navigate that? How do I, mom's not available. So, I mean, it was crazy town some days. And some days I was like, I'm totally failing. And other days I was like, hey, we got this. So it's a little bit of everything.
Small wins.
Oh yeah. You gotta celebrate the small wins and let a lot of it just roll off. Like to me, I don't know. I'm just like, it's all gonna be okay. Like, it's all gonna be okay. Just like potty training, I was never like, you gotta get potty trained by 3. I'm like, well, he ain't going to school in diapers at 6, so I'm good. Like this is kind of how I roll. But they, they rose up a bit. I rose up a bit. My plate expanded with what I thought I could do or not do, and we made it.
Yeah, let's hope so. Do you have any words of wisdom or things like, let's say one of my PR pitches, someone picks this series up and you're like, oh, let's hear what moms actually have to say about how we dealt with lockdown. And if we have a threat that we would go back to that, or just organizations looking at how to help moms in a better way. What are what do you think society's top priorities should be when it comes to working moms?
Ooh, this is such a juicy question. Wow. I mean, my perspective is a little different because I've been at home the whole time and haven't transitioned out of a workplace. And I think that's two different animals, but what I see and hear for myself and just in the world is workplaces. I just think there's a revolution going on and an evolution going on for women and moms in the workplace, because we are kind of still existing in this patriarchal created system that worked fine years ago, when the men really were, I'm going to go out, I'm going to do the thing, and I'm going to come back and you're going to maintain this shelter, this home space. And it was, there were different balances there that worked in some ways. Now we're just not there. I don't think women need to be like so masculine, like pow, pow, pow through all the, tears, because that's not who we are. We're like, come on, this is going to work like a flow, but that's not the systems we have set up. So I think honestly, like, I think women, moms need to be really vocal about what they need and want, not just need, but want in a workspace, whether that's help with childcare, time to work from home and be flexible, more of a stipend or something, or a budget for like childcare expenses outside of a salary or outside of an income, because that's a thing. It's a real thing. And then for men too, like that dads could take time and be with their families. There's still a total stigma about that too. And so that's kind of this world I see now with like knowledge industries, virtual businesses, network marketing companies. Like there are so many other ways to work that I think we also have a lot of leverage to say, I'm not doing it that way anymore. And these younger generations I see coming up, they're like, yeah, no, not happening. I'll go create something before I work for you when you're going to box me in like this big, And I think that it continues to take men and women, especially, but like just standing for it and being a demand for it, which is going to take something continuing on. But I think this pandemic really shows that. And then, just to touch on the other part of your question, I think that you asked about if this were to happen again, or if whatever. I mean, honestly, I do also think there's just in the day-to-day moments, you got to give yourself grace. We all have to give ourselves grace, whether it's me as a single mom running multiple businesses, trying to get my kids schooled or whatever. Some things aren't going to get done, and it's like, you got to be able to say to yourself at the end of the day, I did the best I could. They did the best they could. It's going to be okay. In the grand scheme of things, this one thing I didn't check off my list today is probably not gonna have the world fall apart. I'm just saying. So
that's what I'm hearing too. Like, just give us choices.
Let's
have a choice. I mean, that's
like
baseline of humanity, right?
And be able to put families first. Like, that's the thing that's just different nowadays. I mean, before, when it was the traditionally the man who went out and did the work and the woman who stayed home, like that just, and there's nothing wrong if a woman wants to stay home. I was an at-home mom for years and I loved aspects, but I also felt like there's more to give that I'm not giving, but I just think, the choices, the options, like, let's just let go of the stigma against people who want to do it a certain way and open our minds to like, wow, what could be possible if we switched it up? What could be possible if we thought outside the boxes that we normally have? It's like, it might sound weird at first, but hey, like, could be great.
I love it. Okay, I'm going to switch gears for a second and show the images that I shared with you.
Oh, yeah.
In your survey. So just 2 questions again, say whatever comes to your mind, but is there a feeling or a sentiment that any of these images resonate with you, or when you first look at them, how does it make you feel? And then if you could tell me which one resonates the most, that would be great.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I think number 3 is the one that resonates the most, and then number 2 a little bit. I can't tell if this woman is sleeping in number 2 or she's like
she
just
fell
reading.
asleep.
Okay, yeah. But number 3 for sure. Some of them, that's the one that resonates with me the most. I can touch on like each one of these has a little thing for sure that I could resonate with. But number 3 is the most. I mean, my kids, they were in and out of screens and on my computer. Mom, can I play Minecraft? Like, my one son had a computer. Well, actually, during the school year, my other one did too, but he couldn't play anything like that because it was a school computer. So he was always wanting to borrow my computer, only girl computer in the house. And I was like, so, then there's another juggle, right? Of like, well, I need it for work, but I will do the best I can to give you some time too. I mean, it's,
Yep.
Yeah, but all these have some resonances for sure.
Did you have any funny memories of a Zoom call or kids interrupting you or anything that strikes you from the pandemic?
Thankfully, none of them were like crazy embarrassing or anything like that. Mostly my younger son, who's 7, he always oftentimes I'll say, likes to pop in and judge me if you will, but he still sometimes, when he's like resting or watching TV, he has pacifier, he sucks. And he has his little blankie and puppy. And, he'll come in there. And there's part of me, I'm like, take it out. Don't show up. I'm like, you're a terrible mom. You have a 7-year-old. Anyway. But no, he was great. And he'd pop in, he'd want to say hi or he'd want to wave. And everybody was usually really great. One time, this was a little funny. I think I was on, so I'm in this business program with Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins, and we had one of our workshops, and there are like thousands of people, on Zoom and everything for this workshop. And I got called to have a hot seat coaching with Dean Graziosi. So I'm sitting there talking about my virtual workshop and everything. And he's coaching me and stuff. And my son decides to come in right then, I have to be like, in front of all these people, hold on just a second, or Benjamin, wait a minute. I was like, oh God. But I mean, that was real life. Like that is real life. And they don't care, they're totally great with it. But it was funny. I was like, of all the times,
Just the one time. No, they'll never give you the one time.
No.
Okay, I'll stop sharing that. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else you want to share with the community? Mostly moms probably will watch this. Who knows?
Right.
We're hoping we get some play on it. But
Yeah.
anything else you want to end with?
I just want to say to all the moms out there that, you're doing a bleeping great job. Like we really all have to tell ourselves that, whatever your situation, whatever you're dealing with, like you are doing a great job. You're a great mother. You're doing a great job. Your kids are going to be fine. Take care of you, because that is the first stop for everything else happening in your life. You must do you first. And self-care is another one of those words like pivot that I think is so overused, but not understood. Because self-care can look like so many different things. But if people follow me, I talk about this a lot on my social media. But really also just putting yourself on the list, taking time to go away from your phone, your computer, your emails, your family. Sometimes it just is everything, and just having a few moments to you is really vital, and doing things that show yourself love. But yeah, I mean, everybody's doing great. You're doing a great job, even though some days you might not feel like it.
Yep. I'm right there with you. That is where I like to end, is to say thank you, Jill, for everything you're doing. Your sons see you. You're an amazing example. The fact that you're helping other moms, like that's huge, right? We all need to help each other. So
we do. We do.
All right. I'll let you get back to life.
Thanks. The rest
Thanks
of life.
again.
I so appreciate this opportunity. It was really fun and nice to get to know you. And now I'll know you more when I see you on LinkedIn.
I know. We'll follow each other and support each other. I love it.
Yeah, totally. I'll share as well.
Okay.
Thanks.
Jill. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.